But let's go to what is good in the news. Let's bring that on screen right now and take us through how the central bank will be moving forward using what you call an in-house tool to defend the Naira at the current levels while the MPC is still trying to weigh its options and the dilemma it faces on interest rate.
Yes, indeed, that is another good takeaway from yesterday's meeting. The CBN governor said that the CBN would be willing to intervene in the.
Adin?
That is another good news from yesterday's meeting. The CBN governor said that the CBN will be willing to intervene at any time. It doesn't have to wait till the next meeting. Intervene in the market, intervene in other sectors. So the Naira is likely to be defended at current levels. Secondly, another good takeaway is that the CBN said that it's planning a guideline which would encourage banks to lend to other sectors of the economy, which will be released soon. So hopefully that would encourage banks to lower the interest rates and lend to other critical sectors of the economy. Another point.
Yeah, that's good. Let's look at, let's move on quickly. We have just about 2 minutes to this conversation. Moving into the agric industry and what the government is doing, we keep talking about agriculture. One product, sometime you folks try to get us through one agri-product or the other that we have what it takes to produce here, and if we can do something to make what we're doing much better, that has to do with cashew nuts. I eat that a lot, and folks say it's really healthy. Do you eat? Do you take cashew nuts?
I do. I'm a lover of cashew nuts, I must say, and cashew nut is very highly nutritious, low cholesterol, and interestingly enough, Nigeria is the second largest producer in the world of cashew nuts. We produce a little under 1 million tons a year. And the good thing about it is that cashew nut is produced in virtually every state of the country. It's produced in the north, but the good thing about it is that it won't be affected by this ongoing pastoral herdsman clashes. It's produced also in the southeast, in the southwest. So there's a lot of potential for us to increase output and become the top producer. Cashew nut is consumed by almost every country in the world, large markets like the EU, the US, China, India. So there's a lot of potential for us to become the largest producer in the world. But a lot of things need to be done. We need to invest in automated production to increase our productivity, invest in seedlings, invest in seeds that can produce high yields, and also invest in the value chain of cashew nuts for us to reap our full potential.
Yeah, yes, I can feel it here when it comes to the production and ramping up on cashew nuts. Kogi State Investment and Economic Forum just about 2 months ago spoke to that, how that state can rev up what is being produced locally. But of course, we're not doing badly. If you look at that table you have there for us, we're just coming second after Vietnam in terms of global production. But of course, who wants to stay at number 2? Why number 1 position can be taken over? Let's see what happens there. Adimo Kwesa, thank you very much for your time today. Let's leave that conversation there until next week when we see you or other members of the FDC here on Business Morning talking through the commodities market. Let's move on, everyone. Let's look back to the MPC. And analysts' comments are coming in through in torrents about what happened yesterday, why it happened, more importantly, the outlook. The London-based exotic capital believes that a rate cut by Nigeria's MPC is likely as early as July. We expect the MPC to meet again at least once between now and half year. The exotic capital analyst, however, says a rate cut from Nigeria's central bank may not happen until the rate of inflation is down close to 12%. That's the forecast from London. Exotic capital says inflation will not, however, hit that level this year, despite the optimistic claims of single-digit inflation from the central bank. Of course, the central bank has since ditched its 9% inflation target and just leave it open-ended. That was when inflation, through the central bank projection of 9% away just about a year or so ago, and now we're in around double digit, but we've seen that trending lower. The suspect, according to what will the MPC do? Exotic Capital says they suspect that political considerations will play a major role in MPC decision-making. How that will happen, we'll wait and see. However, the report says, quote, "We do not envy the position that the Nigerian MPC is currently in, fighting inflation, high unemployment, and stagnant economic growth. And these challenges, according to Exotic Capital, will not be fixed through the MPC's decisions alone and will require a vast structural changes across the economy." And one of the things the Buhari's administration is working on to restructure the economy, or at least give it a bit of a change, is the economic diplomacy. Today, we expect the president himself to formally unveil the country's first ever economic diplomacy program that looks to engage the global community on trade, investments, and economy. The initiative being launched today was being led by the Foreign Affairs Ministry and the Nigerian Office of Trade Negotiations that we're following up and covering for you here on Channels Television. Meantime, sources says Nigeria's long-awaited green bond is due for flotation on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, likely on the 10th of April. Sources told Business Morning yesterday that Nigeria is looking to retain the plan to pioneer sovereign green bond issuance in sub-Saharan Africa. That's about all for now on what is making headlines here on our business news desk. But we have a lot more. A one-to-one, what you call a checking in with Babatunde Fashola, who is the Minister of Power, Works and Housing. I checked in with him yesterday to have his thoughts on the ERGP, the Bill Gates comments about why Nigeria should invest more in health and education, and what else he's been doing on roads maintenance, what we call infrastructure abuse. What is likely coming through if you mismanage the new roads being built by the Fashola's group. Let's talk about this and all of that when we come back after the break. Gentlemen.